All right, so this video is about VTubers and friends. So I've met a lot of VTubers, and a couple of them I'd consider friends, and a couple of them I considered friends, and it turns out that they aren't. And it's not like they're bad people or anything. It's just I thought they were friends, and clearly, actions speak louder than words, right? So when it comes to friendships and VTubing, so far it's been interesting, right? Because I'm a flesh tuber. So already it's a little different, right? Because I don't even really know who these people are. So how could I really consider them friends? But then I have people like Zova, and it's like I'm cool with Zova and I appreciate Zova. So I would consider me a Zova friend, sure. And then others, it's like, they're here for a little, clout boost, or they're here to get the views up or something like that, or maybe they're interested in a particular topic or conversation, and then they're just no longer interested in me or interested in what I have going on. Totally normal, totally fine. I don't blame anybody for it, right? We all live in our own world for whatever our benefit is. So I definitely love to hear it also from the point of view of the VTubers, because I mean they've talked about having fake friends for years. So let's talk about it. VTubers aren't your friend.
I seriously had a guy tell me that he was Pecora's friend because Pecora says that she doesn't really have that many friends, so
Now
all of
that's
her fans
different.
are her
This is different.
friends. I really didn't think that this
That's
was something
different.
that you had to say to people, but just because a VTuber says on stream, oh, you're my friend, and then never DMs you or never says anything to you ever again, doesn't mean that you're friends. Hey, what's up? I'm Cozy. If you
It's
don't know me
true.
already, I am a certified friend hater. No, I'm not. But listen, have you ever tried to make a lot of friends in the VTuber community? Have you ever noticed that it's kind of
Yes.
hard to do that? And have you ever
Yes.
noticed those people who make lots of let's be friends posts on Twitter or like other places, and they have a whole list of people that are writing in, hey, I want to be friends, or like DMing them or adding them or whatever, and then they answer maybe like a percentage of them, maybe like 10%, 5%, something like that. Listen, I'll say this once right at the beginning, right? There are a lot of people in the VTuber community that are actually really good at dealing with massive amounts of people. There's a lot of people who actually
There are
genuinely
some,
like
yeah.
all of that interaction, and there's a lot of people who do create those posts with finding friends in mind. But a lot of the time, the draw of VTubers is commercialized friendship. So
That's
the
crazy.
idea
I never
of
thought of
being
it that
friends with a
way.
VTuber is kind of something
Commercialized
that a lot of
friendship.
people are
That's
really excited
sad.
about. They really want to make a lot of friends in the community. They find somebody and they really think, "Oh, I really vibe with them. Like their content is something that I really enjoy and I really want to get to know them more. I really want to talk to them more. I want to be in their space all the time. I want to play games with them. I want to collab with them. I want to do things with them, right?" But unfortunately, a lot of the time, being a VTuber is about trying to make people have that kind of connection with you. And honestly, I feel like in a way being a streamer is about trying to have people make that connection with you. I think trying to become friends with your chat or like trying to be friendly with them, trying to be in their lives, trying to be that space that they go to every day.
So this is a completely different conversation from the point of perspective that I was going for. It's more for me, right? Because I create the videos and the content and stuff like that. Me being friends with another VTuber that does the same thing I do versus the viewer and the streamer perspective. Those are totally different. And even me, like a couple of my viewers, I would consider friends, even though some of them I actually do know quite a bit about. Others, it's like I'm cool with seeing them. I'm like, yeah, welcome. Have a great energy, have a friendly energy, especially like for me, because I know what I'm looking for when it comes to a community. I don't just let anybody in, right? So if you come in and you're cool, cool. If you come in and you're cool and then you start getting crazy, I'm like, hey, relax a little bit, relax. We just keeping it chill, right? So that's what I'm looking for when it comes to like growing a community. Now, versus growing a friendship, it's going to be totally different, because not necessarily you and the other content creator have to share the same space or share the same community, but you two are just cordial. So it's definitely an interesting conversation, man. Let's keep it going.
And where they interact and hang out every day is something that a lot of streamers really want. because if you get that out of a community, then you basically have won. Honestly, if you get a community that really enjoys being in your presence that much, then you have created a space that is ideal for commercialization. Now, an ideal situation for commercialization doesn't mean that these VTubers don't care about you. It doesn't mean that they're sitting there and they're like, "Ooh, I can't wait to get more money out of my fans. Oh, money, money, money." They're not sitting there being freaking Mr. Krabs, right? Um
Or
But
Mr.
a lot of VTubers
Burns.
are thinking for their longevity. They're trying to create an environment where they will succeed and they will continue to grow, and people will continue to push them. They'll show their friends like your content and stuff like that. They will make friends in the community with other people so that they can hang out in voice chats and stuff all the time. But a lot of the time, a VTuber is trying to create a community that is based heavily around them and about like what they like and about
Yeah,
people really enjoying them and wanting to be
yeah,
with them and wanting to support them and wanting to be in their presence.
yeah. It's normal.
This unfortunately comes across a lot of the time in VTubers like saying, "I want to make friends. Oh, I really want to make some friends in this community. Where are all of my friends in this community?" Or things like they will play games with you in chat. They'll like get in calls with you in your Discord server or stuff like that together. And then you'll play maybe Genshin Impact. You'll play like, Helldivers, whatever. After you do that sort of stuff, that does not automatically mean that you are friends with this VTuber. Even if you
That
have
is
a
true.
friendly connection,
That is
even if
true.
you are enjoying each other's presence, even if you like each other, that does not automatically make you friends with them. After somebody
That is
showed me
true.
some of their videos recently, I have been watching a lot of Core of Midas's videos, and this is something that they talked about too, where, you are not friends with a person. You're not automatically friends with a person just because you're friendly with them. You have to have more of a connection than that. You have to have some standards. You gotta, not only for like the VTubers have to have standards for multiple reasons, but like you as a person that is trying to befriend these VTubers, you have to have standards for yourself. You have to sit here and you have to think about the
Of
fact that
course.
these people aren't DMing you. They don't care about your personal lives.
Of
They will play
course.
games with you sometimes, but that is about the extent of your interaction. Or like maybe you'll interact with them on stream sometimes, but that is also the extent of your interaction. They are only communicating with you in public. You probably don't know a lot about their personal lives. They're probably hiding a lot from their fans for their personal lives. There's maybe some lying about things in their personal lives? Like, I
It
actually know
is
a
what
lot of
it is.
VTubers who have relationships and aren't telling you about it. Because of course they're not, because why would they tell you about that
Yeah,
sort
it's
of
their
stuff?
personal life.
And this isn't
Yeah.
really a situation where I'm like outing those people by just saying, "Oh my god, I know that they're in relationships," because like you don't even know who I'm talking to? You have no idea who I'm communicating with in my personal life. You have no idea how many DMs I'm getting a day. You have no idea anything about me as a person, and you only know about the things that I put on social media as me being a
100%.
VTuber. Social
Yeah.
media, and especially content creation, are spaces where we are putting the best of ourselves online. A lot of it is heavily curated. A lot of the interactions that we have are heavily like restrictive, or like maybe we won't interact with somebody who we think is going to bring down our interaction numbers, or maybe has said something controversial in the past, or et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of calculations behind things.
That's kind of insane, right? So, of course, but it hasn't been said out loud. So I commend Cozy for saying this out loud because that's absolutely true. That is absolutely true. That is how people interact with others in the online space. And since VTubers are, majority online, only a couple, people actually do like the flesh streaming or the flesh tubing on top of VTubing, right? So when it's strictly just online, just persona versus persona, yeah, 100%. I can see why people would do this because they don't have an actual connection. There is no real connection besides we both make content. We both are streamers or we're both creating a community. And to try and become friends, it takes a little bit deeper. And it definitely is more than just talking online or talking in public. Yeah, you guys got to talk one on one. right? That's how you just build a relationship in general. But it's also very difficult for a lot of people to do that. A lot of people don't feel comfortable trying to talk to another person about their issues. Or on the other side, there's people that don't want to hear about other people's issues. And that's just how you grow close as a person. Mm, yeah. It's a sad but deep and important conversation to have.
That mean that like we're not showing you an authentic version of ourselves,
It's
because
curated.
this is for a lot of VTubers, not all of them, not all of them. There's a lot of hobby VTubers too. A lot of VTubers make this into a business. So this is their job. This isn't like a for fun thing. This isn't something that they hop online and they try to interact with the community and they try to make friends. This isn't something where they're going to conventions just because it's fun. It is fun in a lot of cases. They are enjoying it in a lot of cases. A lot of the things that people stream, a lot of the people that, you know, you talk to and stuff like that, you're still enjoying it. But that does not mean that it's
Business comes
any less
first
of a
for a lot of
job.
people.
And I think it's really
Business
important to
is the most
point out
important for
that
some
you
people.
can be friends with people that you work with. You can be friends with your coworkers and stuff like that. People do it all the time. You can go out to drink with them, you can have a good time with them, they can become some of your best friends in your entire life. But that doesn't mean that you're automatically friends just because you're in the same space and you're interacting at the same like location. Imagine, for instance, a streamer is like a bartender and you go to the bar every day and you talk to them and you maybe form a connection with
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah, yeah,
riffing
yeah.
off of you, they're making jokes, they're
But the
having a good
bartender is
time.
still working.
That does not necessarily mean that you are their friend off hours.
Yep.
Because on hours, they have to be charismatic. They have to put on a good impression. They have to try and make you want to be there. They have to be friendly with you. They have to make you enjoy your time there. Because realistically, going to the bar is paying their bills.
Yeah.
It's not something that like you can't
100%.
ever make any friends in that sort of situation. Obviously, bartenders have become friends with their patrons before, you know?
Yeah, it
This is not
happens.
something that is impossible. But you have to think of it in a more realistic way, right? These people are there to make you entertained, to make you have a good time, to enjoy your space, and they're not there to then like talk to you when your girlfriend breaks up with you, or like to console you when your grandpa dies, or to talk to you about the controversial political situations of the moment.
Basically, these people are around to just talk about business. They're there to talk about the things that help us get through the day. But whenever we're struggling to get through the day, they're not there. They're not available. It's not their problem. It's not their issue. But that doesn't make them a bad person. I would never say they're a bad person because of that. Be realistic, be honest. How would you feel trying to hear everybody else's issues? It's not easy. Only a couple people do it, right? And there's a reason why therapy and therapists is super expensive, because if you're hearing about other people's issues, it makes you get closer to them. You start feeling a more connection, especially if it's something that resonates with you, right? If they're going through a divorce and you've been divorced before, now you have more of a deeper connection because now there's emotions involved. So yeah, 100%. It's definitely tricky, man.
They are not interacting with you in your daily life. They are only talking to you on a very superficial level. Now, I'd like to add on 2 points here. One is that technically, for some people, maybe that is friendship. Maybe for you, that is how you make friends. Maybe you don't like talking about those sort of more personal things. There are some people who just don't want to talk about their deeper inner thoughts.
That's
They
true.
just want to have something that is more basic and on like a not really a deep level, but like they're enjoying their time and stuff like that.
That's
That's
true.
fine. You can have those sort of situations. Just make sure that whoever you're talking to is okay with you calling them a friend in that sort of situation. And make sure that you have the same level of expectations for this friendship. If this is something where like the friendship is just a superficial sort of like, well, okay, I'll stop saying superficial. It's
Bro, it is superficial. It is 100% is. And if your feelings get hurt about it, don't. Don't let your feelings get hurt about it. We live in a superficial world. We live in a world where people would dress up and spend thousands of dollars for one night and then be broke for like the next couple months and be okay with it. But that one night is like the best night ever, and that's all that matters. Yeah, we live in a world like that. It just is what it is. Everybody is doing things for their own reasons, right? So I don't cast any judgment or any shame on it. But let's call a spade, man. If you are willing to be friends with somebody only for really the business aspect, it's not a real, at least in my eyes, right? This is just my opinion in my eyes. It's not a real friendship. A real friendship is having the ability to talk with somebody about almost anything and having an actual dialogue and conversation about it. And it's not just one way, because that's therapy. That's not a friendship either. Therapy is not a friendship. Sometimes people can become friends with their therapist, but there's a reason why therapists try not to, accept that friendship, because to actually have a friendship, you have to share with each other. That is how the community grows, sharing each other's feelings and emotions, the things that make us deeper as human beings, right? And on top of that, you guys are VTubers. A lot of you don't even consider yourself human beings. You guys some of you are legitimately delusional, right? It just is what it is. If you aren't willing to bring your inner self out towards another human being, that's totally okay. There's legitimately nothing wrong with it. But the only issue that comes into play is not letting other people know, hey, you're not emotionally available. It's not a real friendship if you're not willing to hear the deeper parts of somebody else's life. And in return, you don't have to share your super deep personal issues. But to say, hey, I'm going to be your friend, at least in my eyes, you can correct me if you think this isn't the case. It is like everything is a perspective. Everything in life is a perspective, point blank, period, right? So, in my perspective, if we're going to be friends, that means I am saying I'm willing to listen to your inner struggle. I'm willing to listen to your issues. And in return, if I do end up having issues, if I feel like I'm trapped, nobody's around, I'm saying, man, I'm so close to the edge. If you're a friend, I would expect to be able to go talk to you about my situation before I jump off the cliff. Because that's what friends do. Friends are there for each other whenever things get bad. That is why we have friends. That's the reason why we have friendship, we have connection, we have community to keep each other sane and on this side of reality, to be in the real world and share real connection. That is friendship, in my perspective. If you don't agree, whoop de doo, right? That is how I honestly feel on the concept of friendship. And if you don't feel the same way, that's totally fine. Just let me know that. Just let me know, hey, you really only care about whatever it is you got going on in your life. You are like we are all the main characters in our own lives. I am fine with being the side character in somebody else's life. Other people only care about being the main character to the point that they're even willing to be the main character in someone else's life, which I think is fucking insane. But that is how some people are wired. They're so used to being the star, or they're so delusional or brainwashed or whatever it is, right? We all are living this life that is force feeding you information at all times. And it's up to you whether to listen or to not listen. But if you're being force fed everything, it takes a little bit extra. It takes something else to say, hey, maybe what you're telling me isn't real. Maybe I need to find out for myself what life really is like. So while I've been on this earth and I've been meeting people from around the world, you know, my definition of friendship has definitely evolved, and I think it will continue to evolve the more that we keep living in the way that life keeps moving and changing. Hmm. That felt good to say. Let's continue.
Okay for you to have like just friendly acquaintances without talking about deep stuff, and those can still be friends, right?
For
But
some,
you
for
have to
some.
make sure that you are on the same level of expectations. Me
Yeah, that's
personally,
it's just
to
communication.
call somebody a friend, I need to be okay with like interacting with them on a personal level. I need to
Yeah,
be okay with talking to them about like, really important situations in the content sphere. I need to
yeah,
be okay with
sure.
telling
That's
them about
business
things
friendship.
that I've been dealing with my personal life, how I've been
Okay, that's
depressed,
friendship.
how like
That's
all of that
friendship.
sort of stuff. I don't
That's
really talk
friendship.
about that sort of
Yes,
stuff with my chat. I don't talk about
that's
that sort of
fine.
stuff with my fans. But I
That's
do talk about
fine.
that sort of stuff pretty regularly with people that I consider my friends.
Good.
This sort of
As you
thing
should.
isn't necessarily for everyone. But
100%.
it's important to keep in mind that you need to make sure that you're on the same level of expectation with each other. My second point
That's
kind
the
of plays
biggest
off of
thing.
the first point, but my second point is that even if you're on the same level of expectation of you are friends, like you are agreeing to that title, you need to make sure that you both have an understanding of what that friendship means. I had a situation well, I've had two situations actually, but one specifically. I had one situation where I called someone a friend and I meant it. I think that they were one of my friends. But unfortunately, they had a different expectation for what a friendship should be. They
Mm,
felt that I should be playing games with them. They felt that I should be
mm,
talking to them constantly. They felt
mm.
like I wasn't interacting with them enough. So that meant that we weren't actually friends and I was just lying to them and stuff like that. They
I mean, that one's a hard one. That one's a harsh one. You know, some people, like I said, they they're the main character. This is the perfect example of that. They feel like if we're gonna be friends, you need to be on my dick, basically. You need to be around me. You need to talk to me all the time. We gotta play games all the time. Sure, that can definitely be part of your friendship. But then this thing called life happens. Not everybody can always be on the game. Not everybody can always be online around you. So you need to make yourself available to hang around them. Imagine you have a friend and every time you guys hang out IRL, it's at their house and they never go to yours. They don't even know what your house looks like, right? Is that really a friendship? Because for a friendship, it's got to be both ways. It can't just be you hang out with me and we're going to do what I want to do, right? And that's what a lot of people need to learn, to share, the balance, the stuff like that, to give as well as receive. These are how friendships and relationships are. This is how they're kept, right? Anybody can make a friend. Anybody can meet somebody, have a good time, and say, "Okay, nice to meet you," and then become cool. But to actually create a deeper friendship, it's just like persona. You have to hang out. You have to find things you guys both enjoy and share things with each other. Yes, that is how your bond grows deeper. Video games show you how to do it, but a lot of people, they don't realize like it also goes both ways. It also goes both ways because just like you think you're the protagonist, that person thinks they're the protagonist too. Yeah, we're all the protagonists in our own life. You have to be willing and be aware enough to just say, hey, not everything is about me. Other people are going through things. And if you would like to be the ear that listens to these people, they will gladly tell it to you. I made a lot of deep connections with people I meet in real life because we talk a bit, but I like to just hear them. Let me hear your perspective. And then they go deep and they go deep, and I'm just like, okay, I'm here to listen. I'm totally here to 100%. Not everybody's up for that. Not everybody can do that, and it's understandable. It's just something that we all got to find in ourselves. If you really want to make a deep friendship slash connection, that's more than just hang out a bit, if you actually care. Because when it comes to connection, you also have to remember these people have ongoing lives. It's not like you're just friends for the week or you're friends for the month or you're friends for a year. It's like if you create a friendship, a true friendship, that's like a potentially lifelong bond. Potentially, right? Life happens. Sometimes we intersect, sometimes we don't, but that doesn't mean we're not friends, right? The story, the history, the stuff that you share, at least with me specifically, I'm only talking about myself because I have no idea how you guys live your lives, how you call each other friends, or how y'all do stuff on that side of the world or that side of the internet or whatever the fuck this is right here, right? when it comes to me and my perspective on, having friendships, you don't have to necessarily always be around each other, but it never hurts to tap in once in a while. Hey, bro, how you been? We ain't talked in 2 months. What you been up to? Because everybody's life keeps going. Everybody's life keeps going, and shit happens. Sometimes everything that's going on in their life is just great. So let me hear about it. How you been? Oh man, I got an award. Oh man, I got #1 in karate. Blah 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 blah. I'm happy to hear it, bro. Let's go. Keep going, baby. Keep going. Right? Some of y'all need to get out of your own heads. Honestly, just take a deeper perspective, deeper look. Just the people around you, the people that you say you care about. Talk to them more. That's just my perspective, though.
They felt like I was angry at them, that I hated them, when it was realistically just me getting really busy over time.
Yeah, people get
I
busy.
personally am someone who is introverted. I am someone who
Yeah.
is autistic. I don't
Okay.
really interact with people unless I have something to say to them. And I
Oh.
need to have like a topic to
Mm.
actually initiate any kind of conversation. If I'm
Uh.
not initiating that conversation, that doesn't
Mm.
mean that I hate them. That doesn't mean
Yeah.
I'm angry at
You
them.
just don't know
But
what
it
to talk
does mean that
about.
I don't have anything to talk about in that moment, which isn't even a bad thing. I don't
No, it's
even
not.
think that not having something to talk about with your friends is bad. I don't think you don't have
Bro, there's a reason why we say hello, how are you? This is literally it. How are you? That's all you have to say. There's not necessarily any particular topic besides how do you feel, and that could be enough. There's several times I message people. I say, "Oh, how are you?" They say, "Oh, I'm good. How are you?" "Oh, I'm good too. I'm doing this." "Oh, nice." And then, "All right, man. I hope you keep doing well. Talk to you some other time." Boom, bam, bop. There it is. Sometimes that's all people need.
to have constant things to talk about with them, right? Sometimes you have things that are more in common. Sometimes you have situations where you're both watching the same anime, you're both playing the same game, and you could talk to them a lot more. I go months or even sometimes years without talking to some people that much because I just don't have anything to say to them in the moment. But like they'll DM
Okay.
me or something and they'll be like, "Oh my god, look at my dog. Isn't it so cute?" I'm still friends with them. I'm still happy to interact with them. Or
Okay.
like I'll DM them and I'll be like, "Hey, look, I made this thing recently. Isn't it cool?"
Ah,
That's
okay,
fine
okay,
too.
okay. You know what? That's also a good way for friendship, sharing your achievements. Yeah, I never really done that before. Never felt the need to. I let my achievements speak for themselves, but yeah, it's definitely good to hear other people praise your achievements too. There's nothing wrong with that. 100%. Like, yeah, you just did something cool. Well, yeah, there's a reason why we posted it online. So everybody can know the cool stuff that you did. And that's also another way of keeping up. That's why some people also don't feel the need to keep up or message you because they see you, they watch you, right? I used to be the type of person whenever I post something, if somebody's watching it but they're not engaging with it or something like that, I'm like, why are you watching my stuff then, right? They're probably watching it because they're just checking on you, or they're interested to see how you're doing, but they don't feel the need to actually say anything. And for some people, like it's so hard for me to remember names, but I remember faces. Cozy, they don't feel like talking unless they have something they want to engage with or show off an achievement or an accomplishment. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, again, this goes back to communication. I'm glad I watched this video because it's even enlightened me on like the concept of friendship and stuff like that and make me realize what it is. Of course, we all have a different we all have a different definition of friendship. So for us to be on the same page, we should 100% have that conversation. And sometimes it's hard because when's the last time you've had to have a conversation on your friendship with somebody, with that person? Normally it doesn't happen unless you don't talk for a minute and then you like ask like what are we? You know, are we friends really? What is it that makes us friends? Sometimes you do have to have that talk, right? Sometimes you go a long minute without talking to your homeboy or homegirl, and this life has just changed so much. It's like whatever it is that y'all used to have in common, y'all don't have anymore. But that doesn't mean you have to drop the friendship. You can always reconnect on something else. Byron, close the door. The chicken's making noises, and I think it's popping up in the video.
Too, right? Like, you have to make sure that you're on the same level of expectation with a person for
I'm
how much
sorry if
you're
y'all can hear
interacting,
that
what you're
chicken,
gonna
bro.
do together, what being a friend means. If you think that being a friend is constantly being in calls together, constantly playing games together, talking about all of your innermost secrets and stuff like that, you need to make sure that you're not trying to befriend a person who doesn't like talking about any of their innermost fears, who doesn't want to play games with you, who doesn't have the same taste in games with you,
That's
who
true.
maybe just doesn't play multiplayer games. Like, I play mostly single player games. That doesn't mean I hate somebody. It just means that I'm not realistically going to be playing games with them. And if that's how they define a friendship, that needs to be said or needs to be communicated in some way before you go on to saying, I can't believe you hate me, or like subtweeting them, or saying some shit about them as a person just because they're not interacting with
You
you
guys
in the
are on
way
the
that
same page.
you
That's all it
want.
is.
It's okay to have standards for relationships. It's okay to
Of
want things
course.
that other people don't want. If you really
100%.
need your friendships to have you playing games with somebody, or you interacting with them constantly, or them being in your DMs all the time, that's fine. You can have those friendships. You just have to make sure that you're not thrusting that expectation onto someone
Thank you.
unexpectedly without them knowing that that's what you want from them. You have to be clear about what you want if you really want like a friendship to be something that is like bigger, or that you want to succeed, or that you want to last for years or something like that. If you really care about a person that much, you need to put in that effort to say, hey, this is how I define a friendship. Is this how you define a friendship? And you have to talk about this sort of thing. I
You
think that if
should.
you're not having
Makes it
this sort of
easier, to be
conversation with a
honest.
person, then you can't really like sit there and be upset if they're not DMing you all the time. You can't really sit there and think, oh my God, I can't believe they aren't doing X or Y or Z with me. They're not really my friend. They may think they're doing fine. They may think that they are your friend. And if you don't have that same level of communication, maybe you're just not that compatible as being like closer friends like that. And that's okay too.
You don't have
It's
to be friends with
fine to
everybody.
try and like make those relationships. And maybe you don't want to have that conversation with someone. Maybe you would rather you just have it develop naturally. Maybe you just don't want to have that talk and you would prefer that it just happens. If it doesn't happen, you shouldn't be angry at them for it not happening. You should just say, oh, okay, well, that relationship didn't really work the way that I wanted it to. I didn't really get what I wanted out of that. That wasn't as fulfilling as I wanted it to be. And you have to move on yourself. You have to put the onus on yourself to give yourself what you think that you need to move on if you don't think that something is working. This is already almost a 15-minute video, so I will try and get my last point out as quickly as I can.
Take your
If
time.
you really want to be friends with a content creator, you have to realize that they may not have that same desire. They may have too many friends. They may be getting like 50, 20 even, 10 even DMs a day, and maybe that's too much for them. Maybe they're already trying
That's true.
to form these deeper relationships and they don't really have
Yep.
time for the like not as deep relationships. Maybe they just want the
Not
deeper
as
ones
deep
and they don't
relationships.
necessarily want to like try and reach out and like talk weather or something with somebody. Maybe they don't want to have that sort of like learning experience about somebody else. Maybe they're not in the mood to try and connect with somebody new.
Different perspectives. That is, you could have wrapped that all up into everybody has a different perspective when it comes to friendships. And it's up to you to have that communication if you want to build a deeper understanding with somebody else. That's the easiest way to say it.
You have to realize that content creators are constantly getting like showers of DMs. And I'm not talking about the people who are like under 1,000 followers or something like that. I'm talking about the ones that are, 2,000 and up. Yeah, hell, even people who are 1,000 and up sometimes in terms of followers. You're getting a ton of DMs. If you're doing commissions, oh my God, you have all of those commission DMs. If you're taking like if you're trying to go and get art done, you're getting DMs for the people who you're commissioning. You might be doing events if you're joining into events, if you're hosting events.
I'm a fast forward. I'm a fast forward. I'm a fast forward.
Thing that doesn't mean necessarily that they are angry at you. That does not mean that they have some sort of problem. That doesn't even mean that they don't want to do whatever you're proposing to them. Maybe they didn't see it. Maybe they're too overwhelmed. Maybe they'll get back to you some other time.
Or maybe they won't.
There's a million different things that
Or
could be
maybe
going
they
on in that
won't.
content creator's head. I think that in the end, you have to keep in mind that these are people who have a million things going on at once, and they have to do pretty much all of it all on their own. They have to do all of
Honestly,
it by
bro, just have a standard for yourself. And also be aware that, your standard isn't the end all be all when it comes to creating a relationship with another person. Sure, it's okay to have a standard that, hey, you know, if we're gonna be friends, I at least want to, check on you. Like me, this is what I do for my friends. I'll check on you like once every couple months. I'll check on you just to see how you're doing, right? Some people feel like they need to stay connected like every couple days. So maybe you can go the extra mile for that person, just depending on how it goes, right? Have a standard for yourself and make sure you're actually becoming friends with people that you believe have the utmost respect when it comes to your guys' connection. If you have a friendship and they don't respect your friendship, why be friends with them? Because it's advantageous for your career? Sure, but eventually you're going to have a falling out because they don't respect the friendship. They'll show up for the 24-hour live stream. But if you really need to do like some type of promo or collab or something and you're asking for their help and they're not around, well, hey, there it is. There it is. And that doesn't mean you have to end the friendship, of course, right? But just know what it is you're dealing with when you're interacting with other people. I think that's like the biggest takeaway from it.
themselves. So if you're not getting what you want out of a relationship, move on yourself. Don't think anything terrible of them. Don't like try and subtweet them. Don't tell all your friends, oh my god, I tried to become friends with them, but they were such a bitch. They did not answer me at all. They didn't listen to any of my DMs. They didn't even want to hang out with me.
Sounds like coming
Nobody
from
cares that much.
experience or something.
Nobody is thinking
That was
about
specific.
you as much as you are.
Yeah, that's
So
real.
if you are sitting
Yo, that is a quote. Nobody is thinking about you as much as you are, but that's a cozy quote, bro. I'm about to put that on my community tab for real, for real.
is thinking about you as much as you are. So if you are sitting there and you're thinking, oh my God, they hate me because of something that I said,
Nah,
most
it's
people
you're in your
aren't
own head,
even
brother.
thinking about it.
You're in your
Most
own head.
people aren't even trying to think about it. Most people have too
What
many
did she say?
as you are. Nobody is thinking about you as much as you are.
Nobody is thinking about you as much as you are, bro. That's some words to live by, bro. That's some wisdom. Boom. This how you know this conversation or this topic was important for her.
Aren't
For real,
even
for real.
trying to think about it. Most people have too many other things going on in their lives to really be actively trying to hate on you. Now, you might notice that some people are clearly trying to avoid you, or like clearly anytime you enter a room, they're gone. That's something that you can
That's
you can
something
deal with on
else.
your own. There's many reasons why that sort of thing would happen. There's social stuff is hard. Being autistic is a fucking pain in the ass. Um,
I bet. I bet,
Point
bro.
is,
I
just try
bet.
not to assume, and try to keep in mind that there's only so much capacity that these content creators have to even make friends. And they're probably trying their best, and they probably don't hate you. And try and keep like a positive attitude about it, right? Don't try and
That's a
think,
big.
oh my
That's big.
God, I can't
Keep it
believe
positive.
X or Y.
Yeah,
Just
sometimes you just fall apart, bro. Like to be honest, sometimes you fall apart and sometimes you might even just break apart. But that doesn't mean you can never reconnect. And that's real. You could always try and reconnect. It's always about trying and having a good positive attitude about it. Sometimes I will message people that I knew back in high school, and it's been a long time since I've been in high school, right? It's to check on them. Why do you think they have the high school and college reunions? So you guys can reconnect and check on each other. Because whether you like it or not, man, you guys are both peers. Even if you went and you became super successful and you think that they're not doing as well, you guys are still peers, bro. You guys are still at one point in time knew each other pretty closely. If you feel the need to reconnect, maybe you should. maybe you should. Maybe it'll be a good thing, right? Who knows? It's up to you to take your life into your own hands. I'm just here to help guide you, I guess. Eh, I don't know. It's up to you whether you take the advice or not. You don't have to, right? But I think this is a great video. Cozy, definitely. I feel what you were saying. I actually get what you're trying to what you're explaining to people. And it's definitely an awesome topic to talk about. And I think more people should have this conversation. 100%. 100%, man. A lot of people are introverted, especially in the VTuber community, of course, right? A lot of people are in their own heads a lot, or they're around their community, right? So whenever you're trying to expand and meet new people, you know, put your best foot forward, right? But also, have that conversation if you want to become uh more than just a connection, right? If you want to actually become friends, more than acquaintances, right? That's something you guys have to talk about. So yeah, this was a dope video, man. Um more dope videos like this, more interviews and stuff like that. These are the things I have planned. These are the things that I want to come to fruition. Cozy, if you do watch this and you do want to be interviewed, let me know. I actually, lost access to my Twitter account because they want like my phone number and blah blah blah. So I might make a new Twitter, maybe if I cannot log into the old one. I'll figure it out, damn it. I'll figure it out because I always do. All right. Till next time. This was a great video, man. I can't wait to have more conversations like this, especially in person. Especially if we could also do it live. I like to have the interconnectivity with the comment section slash chat because it's always fun to hear everybody's perspective, especially if it's trying to go towards more of a positive solution. So yeah, until the next deep conversation, I will see you guys when I see you guys. It's your boy KhunShawn. Comment, rate, subscribe. A lot of cool stuff, a lot of big stuff coming. I don't know if soon would be the right thing to say, but it'll come when it comes, right? I'm still focusing on martial arts and stuff like that. But you'll know. You'll know. Till then, bye bye.